Speedrunning is a really niche hobby that I'd argue has only really started to take off within the last 5 years, with many games, new and old, taking over the leaderboards, and Mr. Ominous Green Blob popularizing Minecraft speedrunning. It is only a given that this hobby would rise to the top one day. Speedrunners now more than ever look for ways to not only beat the games fast, but push them to their absolute limits, with exploits, new routes, and of course, glitches. While there are many small glitches that don't save much time in speedruns these days, there are a few that reign as some of the most iconic glitches in all of speedrunning. And so I want to take a look into some of these, get into how they work, and hopefully entertain you guys enough to stick around.
Let's go!
Super Mario 64 to this day has remained as the top speedrunning game of all time. While it's lost its spot at the top a couple of times at speedrun.com, it always finds its way back up there. Now this game is broken because while normally you can beat the game with at least 70 stars, runners have found a way to beat the game with 16 stars, 1 stars, and even 0 stars. And none of that would be possible without the backwards long jump, or BLJ for short. Now, you probably heard what this thing is like 100 times by now. However, I am a jerk, so I'm going to explain it to you anyways. So, SM64 was generally programmed well. The movement is a bit janky and the camera's a bit wacky, but honestly, I digress. The developers pulled a funny on us when they made the movement to easily be broken. You see, when moving forward in the game, there's a set max speed you can attain. You can't go any faster, no matter what. However, the devs completely forgot to program a speed cap when going backwards, because they never expected you to walk backwards. So to a casual player, this isn't really an issue. But to a speedrunner, this is all they need to destroy the game leaderboards. That's terrible. Speedrunners just do a little bit of a long jump and they move their controller back so they can go a little bit of a backwards long jump and spam the fuck out of that button until they go all zoom and boom, game broken. The Wind Waker is the best Zelda game, no argument needed. With a great story and a beautiful land to explore, a glitch that to this day is considered the hardest game in all of speedrunning. What's not to love? The super swim in Wind Waker is considered easy. Basically, the Wind Waker has no backward speed cap mechanic as SM64, only while swimming though. So using the Wind Waker in the original Wind Waker, and using the lasso in Wind Waker HD, you can create backwards momentum and zoom all across the ocean. And that's the main way to travel long distances while speedrunning the game. The reason that the super swim is a thing is really complicated, but also I'm going to try to explain it in a decent way. So, every second you swim in the ocean, you gain 3 units of speed, and it caps at 18 units of speed, and every time you turn around while swimming, you gain minus 3 units of speed. And since the devs didn't expect you to swim only backwards, they didn't bother programming a backwards momentum cap. So using the lasso and Wind Waker in their respective games in the water, the camera consistently flips behind Link because, well, that's just how it works. And then it does its magic. Honestly, my explanation is really bad, so I'll leave a link in the description to Linkus7's video on how it works, because he's a speedrunner of the game and I'm just a little teenage boy sitting in his room recording audio. So, who's the real expert? Now, in the beginning of a Wind Waker,
Oi!
a super swim is required, as the beginning of the game has like a 30-minute tutorial, and that's obnoxious and speedrunners hate it. But you don't get the lasso or Wind Waker until after the tutorial, and so that leads us to the hardest trick in speedrunning history, the manual super swim. Using the negative speed idea, the runners turn Link backwards consistently like 200 times until automatic charging kicks in, when the camera constantly flips the camera behind Link on its own because you're using automatic camera, thus you are a god. However, to reach this, you have to frame perfectly turn Link back and forth 200 times, which seems tough, but still feasible. But in order to do that, you have to flick the control stick back and forth 15 flicks per second. Holy hell, no thanks. Yeah, you can pause the game after each flick, but the pausing is also frame perfect. So while it is easier, it also happens to be a bitch to frame perfectly pausing up to 200 times. And remember, this is a speedrun, so it also means you cannot take a break if you want to get up there on the leaderboard. So say goodbye to your Mountain Dew and Doritos. This was discovered on November 12th, 2017, and it was used in every single category in the game for almost 4 years. Good thing there's a faster and more consistent way to skip the tutorial, but still, manual super speedrunning is known as the hardest and one of the most famous glitches in all of speedrunning. But I'd argue a glitch that skips a lot of the game, but is way easier, is more famous. For the same game, that is. And that is barrier skip. If you've played the Wind Waker, you'd know that there's a giant ass barrier blocking the entrance to Hyrule Castle. And for years, speedrunners knew that skipping it was doable, but they couldn't do it until Wind Waker HD, because at the time, the glitch known as item sliding was only possible in Wind Waker HD. Don't ask me what item sliding is, I couldn't tell you, ask a speedrunner. And so, in April of 2017, we got the greatest pop-off clip of all time.
What? Guys, I did it! 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 I did barrier skip! Woo! Get it! I'm so good at this game, man. I did it!
Hey yo, what the fuck? If you didn't know, Halo 2 is so broken that it should be on life alert.
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up!
Don't worry, help is on the way.
Like this, and this. Shouldn't be happening, but it does, and it makes for an incredible speedrun. Now, the way I set up this script, I couldn't really segue into what I'm about to talk about, so let's pretend I did, and so I introduce to you, Swordfly! This glitch has been used in Halo 2 runs for a very long time, and it's quite easy to pull off, just kidding, it's frame perfect. However, with enough practice, this trick is really easy. Basically, you need a Jackal Sniper, which you can obtain by getting revenge on those motherfuckers, or any gun, which is commonly just in the Arbiter's default loadout when starting a level with him. It's also just everywhere. Now, if you're worried you have to have a certain version of the game in order to do this trick, don't worry, you don't. It works on the latest patch in the Master Chief Collection. But now you're ready for the glitch. Just align your crosshair on an enemy so it's red, get those magic fingers out in quick succession, press your switch weapon button, your reload button, then your fire button, in that order, really fast.
Okay, hi, hello, I'm Jams, in the flesh and blood, wow, crazy. I'm not much a tutorial guy, but why not just give you guys a tutorial on how to do a sword fly, as my little treat. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you want to press your switch weapon, and then your reload, and then your trigger key. You're going to want to do that in quick succession, like, really fast. It's really inconsistent, so you're going to want to, like, I pressed that a little bit. Okay, fuck.
Super Mario Bros. Literally houses the most famous glitch in gaming, and that is the Minus World glitch, which even showed up in a Nintendo Power magazine. Yeah, remember those? Me neither. While there is a speedrun of that, I wouldn't say it's a speedrunning glitch, but a glitch I would 100% say is a speedrunning glitch is the flagpole glitch. Essentially what this glitch does is it clips Mario into the block under the flagpole at the end of each level. Then, it hits an awkward spot on the flag, which leads to skipping the little pole thing animation, which saves a few frames. This glitch was discovered in a tool-assisted speedrun by Maru. However, the task has literally no setup and it is so inconsistent. However, runners eventually found a setup that is relatively more consistent in the late 2015. And in December of that year, runner DoorTK made a save state from a jump right before the glitch and just kinda wedged himself in there, and then became the first human in existence to pull off the flagpole glitch. Then, a few months later, Mav6771 took the trick further and made a save state at the pipe at the end of the level, and found a setup that was able to be pulled off by humans and not TAS only. This glitch was officially not TAS only. That's pretty sick. Oh my god, that's so stupid. Now, runners had to set up for the flagpole glitch. All they needed was to pull it off in a full run, and who better to pull it off than Darbian, the former world record holder and the first person to get a 456 time in the game.
You ready? That one should definitely save it.
These glitches I wouldn't consider the most famous, but pretty well known, or just some of my personal favorites. And so enjoy these clips of some glitches.
Holy shit!
Why did no one tell me about this?
I didn't even notice.
We've seen some pretty recognizable glitches today, and I want to thank you all for sticking around to see them all. And as your reward, I shall share with you guys what I believe is to be the most famous glitch in speedrunning, and it takes place in Super Mario World. Before I continue, I will say that this is very subjective. This probably isn't the most famous glitch in speedrunning, and I'm just really stupid. However, it's my video, shut up. But anyways, you motherfuckers, I'm talking about the credits warp. Now, if you don't know, my favorite way to code is in Pokemon Yellow. But Pokemon is irrelevant right now, so Super Mario World it is. Now, I have no right to explain what the hell they do to work to the end credits, but essentially the runners rewrite code in the game and that allows them to skip to the end credits. I don't understand how the hell it works. Basically, it involves taping a controller, using Koopa shells and Yoshis and coins and Fireball, and oh my fucking god, this is complicated. Popular Minecraft streamer and Mario World enthusiast Seth Bling was the first person to ever pull it off by beating Super Mario World in under 6 minutes in 2015, and that used a complicated but relatively easy setup. But these days, runners use a much more complicated setup in order to beat the game in under a minute. But in my opinion, Super Mario World credits work glitch by far is the most famous glitch in all of speedrunning. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this little video I made. I have zero clue how well this is gonna do, but I hope you enjoyed it because I actually tried making videos for once. So I'm gonna share a quick plan of how this channel is going to be ran from here on out. Basically, I'm just gonna upload random shit and see how it goes, because I don't exactly want or need or have a plan. I was originally gonna come up with an idea where it was like, oh, speedrunning only. But then I realized that that would be boring if I focused on just that. As much as I love speedrunning, it's just like, there's so much less I can do than if I'm just not giving myself a basic idea and I just say, go crazy. So, yeah, if you can't tell, this is unscripted. I don't know how or what I'm gonna do next, but the idea will pop into my head at some point. I'll still be speedrunning like I did for a while, but less often, and most of the runs will be unlisted. But you can check out my speedruns playlist if you want to see them, along with videos I used to make before I kinda stopped trying. And finally, I'll be streaming on Twitch consistently, hopefully, so follow that if you want to see me speedruns and stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm bad at outros, so